And there you have an absolute wonderful. A lot of people say two-man steak. I'll look at that and say it's alright, that'll do. You know, you might have some for a sandwich, but absolutely gorgeous. But after that, you can break that down even further by just removing the rib off the back. Obviously, I left the face on there, just for show. Cut it down. And then...
Face is just the edge where it's been hanging.
Exactly, yeah, you've got the dark edge there. Tends to be a bit bitter, a bit chewy. So a lot of people will say, can you face it, clear it, get shot of it. There is a few customers that will eat it. But like I say, a bit chewy, a bit bitter. And there you're left with a gorgeous just ribeye steak off the bone. Probably nearly a pound in weight, just over. My sort of steak. You'll have that one. Right, the rest I was just going to do what I like to think is a nice little bit of a showstopper. Coat de boeuf. Trimmed rack, tied up, trussed up, looking all pretty. The main thing is I've got to remove this cap, which is quite simple. You have a seam, you follow it.
I'll just say now, if there's any vegetarians here, we apologise, but...
Do it? That's your cap removed. I mean, as butchers we look to do everything with everything that we can, because waste is practically evil thing. It all costs money, we all try and use everything we can. So what I generally do with the caps off the ribs is get the necks cut off, which is further up the shoulder, a slow cook, called the chuck. Slow cook it, and I put that around the outside of the chuck to give that a little bit of fat on top. Absolutely gorgeous yet again. And it gives you something to use that for, and crisp up that's gorgeous. As like the cowboy, be removing the spine. Again, brilliant for dogs, brilliant for stocks.
I suppose, like you were saying about waste, like Charlie said earlier about the price of all these native breeds being more expensive. When you get proper beef like this, as opposed to what you get in the supermarket, none of it shrinks, does it? I mean, we've
essentially the hanging process dries your meat out. You leave approximately 23 to 27%. You lose 23 to 27% of weight in the water that just evaporates of the month of hanging. So we buy at that price, we lose a lot of money hanging it, but we also get a much more beneficial taste and flavour from the meat, which stands us out apart from other places where they refuse to do it, or refuse to do it sort of traditionally. There's other ways that they do it, but frowned upon probably. Right, there's also this little fella here, which is the shoulder blade. Well, just the end of the shoulder blade bone. So that is just complete gristle. It won't go anywhere, it won't cook, you can't eat it. Dried, didn't work. Carried on. And then another bit, which I was told when I first started butchering, you can cook for weeks, it will never change. Dried it, moved on. The paddywhack. The nursery, right? Knick-knack, paddywhack, give the dog a bone. Basically, it's a bit of sinew, then every creature runs up your back and keeps all the weight basically sprung off your spine, off all the vertebrae. It's basically rubbery, will never go anywhere. Dogs love to chew on it. Tried it, didn't like it. Alright, we're just going to face the side there, clean that up.
Just see the difference, it's so much darker than anything you'll ever find in the supermarket.
Absolutely.
And like you said about being drier as well, I don't know, I find it quite unappealing when something sits on its own juice in a plastic box for a few weeks before you buy it.
That's what the supermarkets call hung beef.
Well, do they actually,
21 day matures, they say.
do they actually hang it?
No, they stick it in its own juice for 21 days.
A little bit of excess fat, a little bit, make it look a bit pretty, but we're going to tie it up, make it hold itself a bit nicer. But once you've got it all neat and tidy, oh, I will say this, we have a, was it Great Taste Award for our meatballs, just using this sort of trim, and our beef and chilli sausages.
There's nothing actually wrong with the meat, is there? It's just not in the right place.
Exactly. It's not in the right place, it's in the way. By the time you cut it off, it's just extra. So if you can find a use for it, you do. Roughly done. Still.
So under pressure.
Exactly, under pressure, and sweating and everything. Terrible. What I'm going to do is just put some strings around it just to hold it.
Oh, the fabled butcher's knot.
Need a hand of steel for this.
I
Not as
see
easy
these
as it
done all the
looks.
time, and I just can't work out what exactly it is.
It is the king of knots, because it's a non-return slip knot, isn't it?
Exactly. I'll show you one day. I believe I have shown you several times.
So he's trying to do his shoelaces.
I'm going to stop showing you this one. There's only so many veg bags that can be held up with string. It's nice just to get your string somewhere where you can hide the knot so it doesn't look too much of an eyesore. But if you keep them all nice in line, it just looks uniform and pretty. I think beef looks pretty anyway. And as you go, you've got what I like to call a Christmas showstopper. Absolutely beautiful. Just clean them bones up a little bit extra so you don't get any burnt bits, but as it goes, that's a cap off. And this weekend, because it's sunny, I'll generally cut them all off and make gorgeous elbow steaks. Quite handsome, quite handsome.
How long do you reckon they take for the barbecue like that?
5 minutes. Depends how hungry you are at the start, but personally, 20 minutes just nice and sort of char grilled either side, keep it nice and pink. You've got to keep it nice and pink in the middle, and just let it rest after cooking. Because once you let it rest, all the muscles relax, all the tendons relax, and you just have a really tender piece of beef. I believe these were on the restaurant's menu at Valentine's Day. They did a sharing platter where 2 people shared these. I couldn't bring myself to it, give it to my missus, that was a problem. But if you aren't barbecuing, they're just as nice to do in the oven. Sear them either side, a couple of minutes in the oven, again keep them nice and pink in the middle, and you will reap the benefits of a nice quality piece of dry aged beef.
Right, well, thank you, Jamie.